Sit in a comfortable posture and start prayer. Oh God, fill our hearts with love and goodness. Lord, quiet our hearts and still our soul as I wait on you during these moments. Lord, Almighty God, take my hand, guide me, let me stand. Lord of power and might, give me wisdom and understanding today. Let me grow in knowledge and bear fruit in active goodness. Strengthen me with ample power to meet whatever comes with fortitude, patience, and joy, and to give thanks to you in all things. Once again, a very good morning to all. Today we start our topic constitutional design. I hope you have read previous chapter. What is constitution? Why constitution? Then only you will understand this topic. So you know what is constitution? So students, listen carefully. I'm going to share you the screen. So constitutional design. In this chapter, we will learn about the constitutional design of South Africa and India. So students, in previous class, we were talking about democracy. In democracy, there are certain basic rules. Together are called constitution. As the supreme law of the country, the constitution determines the rights of the citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function. So in this chapter, we will study about the constitutional design of a democracy. Why do we need a constitution? How are the constitution drawn up? Who designs them and in what way? What are the values and the shapes of the constitution in democratic states? Once a constitution is accepted, can we make changes later as required by the changing constitutions? So we will talk about, for better understanding, we will talk about the constitution for a democratic state, that is South Africa. So we begin by looking at what happened there and how the South African went about this task of designing their constitution. So how the Indian constitution was made, what its functional values, and how it provides a good structure, framework, shape for the conduct of the citizen's life. Means the main principle we will learn, and that of the government. So we will talk about democratic constitution in South Africa. Nelson Mandela was the charismatic, mean charming and fascinating leader of African National Congress, ANC, African National Congress, who became Africa's first black president in 1994. He died recently on 5th of December 2013. So this was Nelson Mandela being tried for disloyalty by the white South African government. He and 7 other leaders were sentenced to jail in imprisonment in 1964 for daring to oppose the apartheid in his country. He spent the next 28 years in South Africa, his most dreaded prison. He was South African politician who serves as President of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. Mandela went on to serve 27 years in prison. He released from prison on 11th February 1990. Struggle against apartheid. Apartheid was the name of system of racial discrimination. This was unique to South Africa. Apartheid was the name of a system of racial discrimination. The white European imposed in this system on South Africa during the 17th and the 18th centuries. The system of apartheid divided the people and labeled them on the basis of their skin color. You can have pictures also. You can see the pictures. See the difference? The native people of South Africa are black in color. The white rules treated all non-whites as inferior. The non-whites did not have voting rights. They don't have right to vote, to cast the vote because of their colors. They made up 3/4 of the population and were called blacks. Beside these two groups, there were people of mixed races. See, the white rulers treated all non-whites as inferiors, and the non-whites did not have voting rights. The apartheid system was particularly oppressive, and they separated the black peoples, and they could work in white areas only if they had a permission. Trains, buses, taxis, hotels, hospitals, schools, colleges, libraries, cinema halls, theaters, beaches, swimming pools, public toilets were all separated from these whites and blacks. And this was called segregation, separation because of color. So in 1950, the blacks, colored and Indian fought against the apartheid system. They launched protest marches and strikes. The ANC, African National Congress, was the umbrella organization that led the struggle against the policies of segregation. You can see the picture, their protest and all that. And this is called segregation. As protest and struggle against apartheid and increase, the government realized that they could their rule and respond. As protest and struggles, just I told, the white changed its policies. Discriminatory law was rebelled. Ban on political parties and restrictions on the media were lifted. So the white people realized that they could their rule through representatives. So voting system. The government realized that they could rule their rule through repression. So Nelson Mandela was released on February 11, 1990 after 20 years of imprisonment. Finally, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, the new national flag of Republic of South Africa was hoisted, marking the newly born democracy in the world. The apartheid government came to an end, paving the way of the formation of a multiracial government. After 2 years of discussions and debate, they came out with one of the finest constitutions the world has ever had. The constitution gave its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. Together, they decide that in search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded. No one should be treated as a demon. They agreed that everyone should become the part of solution, whatever they might have done or represented in the past. So the preamble to the South African constitutions sums up this spirit. See, the South, in this way, the South African constitution inspires democrats all over the world to see the democratic country as South Africa. The other countries also inspired, and they started the protests and to speak against the exploitations of their laws. So this was the apartheid and the democratics of the social African country, South African country. So now I'm going to share you video according this. So watch it carefully.
Eventually, due to international pressure and massive internal opposition, the white government began to repel the restrictions on political parties and the media. Finally, on the 26th of April, 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was hoisted, making it one of the latest democracies in the world. The apartheid government came to an end, giving way to the formation of a multi-party and multiracial government. How was it possible? Wouldn't the blacks take revenge for the past injustice? The peaceful transition happened as Nelson Mandela insisted that his countrymen never give up on the belief in human goodness. Accordingly, the native Africans forgave their white rulers and built a new South Africa based on the equality of all races and genders. The white rulers who had ruled oppressively for several decades now sat across the native Africans and drew a constitution based on universal values that promoted democracy, social justice, and human rights. After 2 years of dialogue and deliberation, they came out with one of the finest constitutions in the world. The preamble of the Constitution reads as follows: We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of the past,
Read the preamble of South Africa.
honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. The South African Constitution inspired democracies all over the world. A state that was until recently denounced as the most undemocratic was now seen as a model of democracy. This was made possible by the determination and humanity of the South African people, who declared that they will never allow a repetition of their racist, brutal, and repressive past, and will work towards a progressive change truly shared by all its people, regardless of their race or gender. The South Africans call themselves Rainbow Nation because after apartheid ended, they accommodated people of all colors in their fold.
So this was apartheid. Now, the question is that why do we need a constitution? The South African example is a good way to understand why we need a constitution and what do constitution do. See, so in this topic, that topic deals with the world constitution as a whole. The example of South Africa with respect to apartheid is explained. The period in which Indian constitution was made is discussed. The key features of Indian constitutions are discussed. Why do we need a constitution? A constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by the people living together in a country. Constitution is the supreme law, big law, main law that determines the relationship among the people living in a state territory called citizens, and also the relationship between the people and the government. A constitution does many things. It generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. See, constitution making is not unique in South Africa. We'll take the example of South Africa only. Every country has diverse group of people. Their relationship may not have been as bad as the between the whites and the blacks in South Africa, as you've seen, have you heard? But all over the world, people have differences of opinion and interests. Everybody's thinking is different. Everybody's opinion is different. Everybody's interest is different, whether democratic or not. Most countries in the world need to have these basic rules. This applies not just to governments. Any association need to have its constitution. Thus, the constitution of a country is a set of written rules. There are written rules that are accepted by the people, because the government is of the people, for the people, by the people. We have made the government. So the people should also be agreed with all the rules. Then only the constitution is framed. Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship with whom the relationship between the government and the people as a citizen of this country, and also the relationship with the government. So firstly, why do we need a constitution? Because it generates a degree of trust. It builds a trust. Yes, the rules are there and we have to obey the rules as a citizen of the state, and coordinate that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. Same as our country, different religion people are living out there. So we all are equal, and we had build a trust. It specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have the power to take the decisions. It lays down limits of the powers. Yes, democracy we have, powers we have, but should be limited. That the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. Yes, we should know our rights, and government tells us the right through constitution. If we will not obey the rights, will not obey the rules, not enjoy the rights, we can raise our voice against our rights. It expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Yes, it will obey the rules and the rights. It will create a good society. All countries, the reality is what? All countries that have constitutions are not necessarily democratic. But the country those are democratic will have constitution. Otherwise, the freedom doesn't mean the freedom, not limits any. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. So that's why which countries are democratic will have constitution is very necessary. But it is not necessary that they have constitutions are necessarily democratic, because they already follow the rules and all that. After the War of Independence against Great Britain, the Americans gave themselves a constitution. See, all countries that have constitution are necessarily democratic, but all countries that are democratic will have constitution. So what happened after the World War of Independence against Great Britain? The Americans gave themselves a constitution. After the change, after the revolution, the French people approved a democratic constitution. This is another example of democratic government and constitution. Since then, it has become a practice in all democracies to have a written constitution. So all other countries also inspired from the America, Britain, and South Africa. So they also formed a constitution. Every country drafts its own constitutions, own rules, own regulations, own limits. A constitution of a nation is a set of written laws accepted by the people living together in a country. So it is a nation and it's a written record, and it should be accepted by all the people living together in a country to frame a better country, to frame a better society, to live a better life. It needs a constitution and accepted by the people living together in a country. So I'm going to share you video on that. Why do we need constitution? So watch it carefully, understand. And this video is very slow, you can read also.
We will follow the example of South Africa to understand why we need a constitution and the various functions of the constitution. As we have seen earlier, the white oppressors and the black majority of South Africa together formed a constitution. This was not an easy task, as the black majority wanted to safeguard their interests and wanted substantial social and economic rights, whereas the white minority wanted to protect its privileges and property. The blacks were also keen on ensuring that the democratic principles of majority rule were not compromised. The blacks and the whites reached a compromise where they took care of the demands and requirements of both parties. The only way to ensure implementation of this agreement was to make some rules which everyone would abide by. This set of basic rules is what we call a constitution. A constitution is the supreme law accepted by all the people of a country. Every country, regardless of being a democracy or a non-democracy, has a constitution. This applies not just to governments, but also to political parties, organizations, cooperative societies, and associations. All these bodies need a set of written rules, which will be followed by everyone involved. Besides being the supreme law, a constitution also determines the relationship between people and their government. A constitution has four primary functions. First, it generates the trust that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. It also specifies how the government will be constituted, or who will have the power and what decisions they would be responsible for. The Constitution lays down limitations on the powers of the government and makes the citizens aware of their rights as well. And lastly, it expresses the aspirations of people for building a good society. Did you know one of the earliest written constitutions is the Code of Hammurabi, written 4,000 years ago by the Babylonian king Hammurabi, who ruled the area which is now Iran. This code, written on a stone tablet, is on display in the Louvre Museum in France. Throughout history, people of all free countries have given their subsequent generations a constitution to abide by.
So students, these two topics we have studied today, I am coming back to you. So, if you have any doubt regarding these two topics, you can ask me if you have any doubt. Yes, students. Yes, if you have any doubt about this topic, you can raise your hands. Today you have to speak. No doubt? So, I am going to ask you a question. First of all, you tell me what is the meaning of democratic government? Can anybody tell me? What is a democratic government? What do you mean by democracy? Raise your hand, students. Give answers, students. That means you. Can you hear me, students? Right, yes or no? Say yes or no. Can you hear me? Students, give answer. I am asking something. Okay, you are not giving the answer, so I'll continue the chapter. Okay, Bhavika Dubey. Yes. Yes, Bobika, unmute yourself and say, what do you mean by democracy? Yes, Bobika, speak out.
Democracy is the right given to all the citizens, so
Yes.
to vote, and they have the right to each and everything.
To choose representative. Yes, Manreen
Yes,
Kaur.
sir.
Students, I need your participation. Manreen Kaur, yes, give me answer, Manreen.
Ma'am, democracy is the form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people.
Yes. Now, my next question is, what is a constitution? What is a constitution? Yes, Shriya Sharma, what is constitution?
Ma'am, it is a set of rules which a citizen has to follow, work according to it, like right to vote,
Yes.
no differences between the skins.
Written document. Okay. Then Kashish Chaudhary, yes, you give me answer. What is a constitution? Kashish, just give me answer. Yes,
Ma'am, it
Kashish.
is a set of the
Yes.
Ma'am, it is a set of the rules to be accepted by all the citizens and the government of a country.
Yes. So it is a main law, supreme law, big laws that everybody has to obey these laws within the limits. Yes. So my next question is, how did apartheid come to an end in South Africa? Please give answer in your own words, no problem. How did apartheid come to an end in South Africa? Yes, students, give me answer. Yes, Tejasvi Sharma.
And when all the people united together and formed their own government, which was African National Council,
Yes.
so they fought against the white minority to end the apartheid in the country.
Okay. Any other girl? Please give me this answer, any other girl. How did apartheid come to an end in South Africa? They protested, they raised their voice against this exploitation, this disloyalty. Black peoples, with the help of the great leader Nelson Mandela, he sacrificed his life in jail, imprisonment in 28 years. That's why it was not an easy task. So next question, what do you mean by apartheid and what are its features? What do you mean by apartheid? Yes, give me answer, raise your hand, students. So yes, I want more hands. Yes, Sia Mahajan. Yes, Sia Mahajan, give me answer. Very simple. What do you mean by apartheid? Yes, you have studied in 8th standard also. Yes, Sia Mahajan, please give me answer.
Ma'am, apartheid, it is a policy of racial discrimination.
Yes. Okay. And my next question is, what are its features? What are the features of apartheid? Yes. What was the fight against apartheid? What? They were doing racial discrimination because of the black color. Now my next question is, what is the importance of constitution? You told me about the constitution, you know, but what is the importance of constitution? Can you tell me what is the importance of constitution? Why constitution is so important if the country is democratic? If everybody got the freedom? Yes, Kashish Chaudhary, give me answer.
Ma'am, it determines the relation between the government and the citizens, and it also
Yes.
specifies the government to be constituted as it tells it tells which laws has to be taken, with who has to take the make the rule in.
Yes, yes, speak, no problem. Any other girl?
Ma'am,
You have, yes, yes. Nivedita. Yes, Nivedita. Give me answer, Nivedita. Unmute yourself, Nivedita, and give me answer. Okay. Your voice is not coming. Pearl Machenda. Yes, Pearl.
Yes, ma'am.
Please give
Ma'am,
me answer.
Constitution is important because it protects individual freedom. Ma'am,
Yes.
the Constitution places the government power in the hands of the citizens. It limits the power of government and establishes
Yes.
a system of checks and balance.
Yes. So good. Good answer. Yes.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
with the help of Constitution, we know our rights. What are our rights and what are limits? And we can also raise our voice if we are not able to enjoy, we are not getting our rights properly. So this is the importance of Constitution. So students, today's class is end. So have a nice day. Why? Study well, read the chapter nicely. Okay, all the best. Have a nice day.